Hello, Brian Lehman, the E-Hermit here, and this is VEDA number 2. This is the second take of VEDA number 2. I recorded it about 2 hours ago, and it went away. So I've now switched to other recording software, and we're going to hopefully have this work a little bit better because I'm recording directly to my computer and not to YouTube. But it's also now 2:30 in the morning, so I am getting a little bit baggy-eyed, I see, but you'll have that. I've been having trouble sleeping lately in any case. I seem to be up till 4 a.m. most mornings and then exhausted during the day, so I'm really trying to fight that and get out of that habit, but it's kind of hard once you get in there. Anyway, so this is VEDA number 2, and we are... Well, I wanted to make sure that I got this done and that we're still going strong, just 2 days into this. So I'm recording this now before going to bed. And a couple other my friends are doing this, as I said before. The new ones doing it this August now include Decloned, who is William Lehman, and I'll put a link to his video right up here, somewhere right in this area. So. Anyway, then I will, he had some neat ideas that he did today for his first VEDA, and he went through some books that he has, and a couple other things on his desk that kind of symbolized who he was and told a little bit of his story. And I'm going to I'm going to probably use that idea a little bit later, but today I'm just going to do another similar thing where we pick out a couple books from my bookshelf. I decided I was going to share them with you guys, and we'll just find 5 books there that are of particular interest. And you can actually see the bookcase a little bit better in the last... There we go. Alright, so now you can actually see the bookcase as I go over and pick up the books. Oh, and I was telling you of the other people who were doing the VEDA. The other person is Twixie Cyrenixie, there we go, Twitchy Cyrenixie, and I'll put the link to her video right over here, somewhere, right in here, so you can click in here, and if I figured out how to do this by then, your click will actually go somewhere. Anyway, so, actually I like the mic better. We'll try it here. So anyway, I wanted to kind of show you some of the books that are on my bookshelf that kind of show who I am. And I'll take you through the first 2 that I picked last time, and who knows what the other 3 will be, and if we even have time. We're about 3 minutes into this, so... Alright, well, the first one is kind of obvious here, and... Probably a number of you who are watching the VEDA actually could guess what this book is. And this is actually this was a gift to me long time ago, and something that I've really, really appreciated. So this is, of course, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And it's one of the obvious books that I had over there on the shelf, so it makes sense that I grab it first. But this is kind of neat. It's all very well done. Lots of neat pictures and illustrating the different parts of the story. I'm not sure I like their Marvin the Android, but I'm kind of picky about Marvin. I first started watching Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy probably with the miniseries that they had from back in the 80s on the BBC television stations, and I really got into that. I really enjoyed it. It was one of those books that you're sort of expected to read as like a science fiction guy growing up or girl, and Douglas Adams is the author, and the books kind of they appeal to me because they get into the the crazy aspect of my life and my sense of humor and really my outlook on life. The author Douglas Adams and I probably don't agree, or wouldn't have agreed very much on religion. In fact, I'm quite sure we wouldn't have. But I do agree with him that God has a sense of humor, and which he stated, even though he doesn't believe in God. And he also, God looks at the world from outside of time, and when you're beyond the 4 dimensions that we're in now, or however many we actually end up having in this universe, you have to have a completely different perspective than what we have right now. You get to see all of space and time as a single dot, and you can zoom in with any degree of accuracy that you want, and you can see all the different sides of the story and how they interlace all through that other dimension of time. So it's just got to be a completely different perspective, and so many of the things that we take so seriously, God probably has a completely different view on. And it'll be interesting once we're on the other side to see how our own perspectives change. Okay, new book. This book, you can't really see the cover of it because last dog we had, Rudy, had, as a puppy, gone through a really nasty chewing phase, and along with the remote for my entertainment center, she got a hold of the cover of this book. But The Martyr's Mirror see if you can. There we go. The Bloody Theater, or Martyr's Mirror. Defenseless Christians who baptized only upon confession of faith, who suffered and died for the testimony of Jesus, their Savior from the time of Christ to 1606. So I first came across this book when I stayed with, I spent a month doing a cross-cultural study and lived with Amish families. One family out in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and another family out here in Berlin. And every one of them had a copy of this book in their house. And so I got this book after coming back, and actually this was a gift from Denise, this particular book. And what this does is it goes through and tells an awful lot about the situations that took place as Anabaptism formed. Anabaptism is the church that I go to is one of the Anabaptist churches. There's a number of them out there, from Mennonite and Amish to Brethren or Brethren in Christ, and Old German Baptist. Anyway, there are a number of them out there, and they formed. They're not a Protestant religion. They're from a different group. They're not Catholic either, and they formed whenever they were protesting how baptism was being used, because it was largely being used as a form of census, so that the tax rolls, whenever you were born, you were instantly baptized, and then your name also got on the tax roll. And the Anabaptist movement said, no, this needs to be a voluntary thing done as adult. And the church, it was a church state at the time, really didn't like the idea of people not being baptized at birth because they couldn't track them. And in the end, they would lose money. So the Anabaptist movement was formed that was one major part of it. Another part of it was their stance on peace. And the peace movement, the peace aspect meant that these people didn't try and kill the Christians who were coming in there and doing these horrible things to them. So they died as martyrs. And this book is, you can see the chapters are 1st century through 15th century, and they're listing in 2 or 3 inches the story of all these different individuals and how they came to be martyred. And this is a kind of a deep book. It's kind of on the opposite side of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but these people died for their faith and refused to harm other people in the process, and that's quite different from what a lot of the other Christian leaders of the time were doing. So that's one of the reasons why I belong to an Anabaptist church. Anyway, this is already at 11 minutes, so I'm just going to grab one more book, and we'll see what that is. Yeah, all right. So I'll grab 2 books, and all right, there we go. I want to do 5, so I'll do 5. But they're ones that I can go through quickly. This one is WordPress for Dummies by Lisa Seven Wilson. And the neat thing about this, it's one of 2 books that are over there that actually have my name in it. I am one of the recommended consultants for WordPress in this book. Anyway, it's somewhere in here. There I am. So, yep, my name's in the book, WordPress for Dummies, so that's kind of neat. Recommended for coming to me for doing WordPress consulting. This is this is a version of the Bible, and I picked it up because well, the Bible is important to me, but this one really symbolizes you know, my fondness of old books. One of the things that I do is I collect old books, and this particular set has like it's got 5 volumes, but it probably originally actually had 6 volumes. The neat thing about these Bibles, not only do I really like the all the notes and everything that are in here and the binding and everything else, but in these multi-volume sets of the Bible, when the person passed, the person who owned it, the particular book that had their favorite passage was buried with them when they died. So the reason that this is actually down 1 volume is that it's probably resting with somebody out in some graveyard somewhere. Last one, as we are hitting the 14-minute mark, comic books. I'm a geek at heart, and I've got lots and lots and lots of comic books over there, not because I've read them, but because I want to get back into reading them. So I bought the whole Civil War series from a local author who was doing the same journey that I was hopefully going to do, which was to get back into comics and kind of share them with my kids. Now my son has read those, but I haven't gotten to it yet. But actually, I guess I should have gone that way because the rest of them are over there. So that's it. This is VEDA number 2, and those are my 5 books. And hopefully you guys can do the same. Let me know what your 5 books are. All right, see you for day 3.